so mad I missed the opportunity for this. Hopefully this is gonna stick to the next night, and I'll get to use it. Kadir Alasmai, the sheriff of New York City, is knocking at the door to your haven. The sight comes as more than a little shocking. If he had business with you, you'd either expect to see him already inside or never see him coming at all. Yet there he is, on the other side of the peephole, patiently and politely waiting for you to let him in. Yep, it's our domain, therefore he can't just barge in. Unless he has a very good reason for it. You carefully unlock the door and face him in silence. Evening. May I come in? You simply stare at him. Your lack of an answer doesn't faze him, and your lack of resistance as he starts walking inside has obviously been interpreted as a permission. Once inside, he starts looking around as you cautiously stay by the door. Haven't really had time to make this place your own yet, have you? Feels like Langley's apartment through and through. A secluded study where nobody studies anything. Look at the books on the shelf. Obviously meant to impress guests, not to be read. They reveal nothing about their owner, aside from the aching desire to be taken seriously as an intellectual. He picks one of them up and smirks before putting it away. Hold on, this word is difficult. The phenomenology of spirit, next to all of the garbage poetry. We can make a bet. If she's read more than 20 pages, I owe you $50 and a gallon of blood. The kind of a place that self-professed hermits entomb themselves in to suffer. Considering how much you have to run around these nights, you probably only use it to shelter from the sun and rest, right? Even though he's obviously making an effort to come off as non-threatening, it's impossible to forget the first impression he made. You still see him as a fierce predator, trying hard not to expose his true colors. You sense a familiar fight or flight response as you struggle to find a diplomatic answer to his last question. If Kadir is bothered by your silence, he doesn't let it show. He keeps walking around, toying with whatever catches his eye. Eventually, he speaks up again. Watch any baseball lately? If I had to guess, you strike me as a Red Sox fan. Now, he's inviting you to talk in a more direct manner. You attempt to overcome your physical reaction to him and reply as casually as you can. I can't talk for shit with him. You almost kill me, motherfucker. Of course I'm gonna be scared. Your mind keeps going back to that night when everything was changed forever. Waking up in hell with a body next to you. Spending a night in that underground sweatbox. Unsure of what will happen next. The endless car ride. 3 strikes. A bloodthirsty crowd. That blade. A rebirth. A baptism by fire. A frightening executor who made sure the flames scarred your spirit. As you look into his face, you realize he's ready emotions from yours. Not in the mood to exchange pleasantries, There's no animosity in his voice. He's just stating the fact. Let me get straight to the point then. He momentarily stops caring about his surroundings, turning all of his attention to you, and demanding the entirety of your attention in return. You see, there's something I've realized over the years. In large part, I may have been hired just to look menacing with a sword, but my job is all about seeing through bonds and relationships. The Camarilla would be safe as long as its members adhere to certain social contracts, making their dealings and affinities plain for everyone to see. But that obviously remains a pipe dream. This is a community of born conspirators, overly ambitious gangsters and politicians, monsters in denial, all sorts of tragically broken individuals. They are driven by desires that make them incompatible. They are driven by desires that make them incompatible with the Masquerade, incompatible with prolonged survival of the Camarilla, incompatible with the methods I use to operate. And so I am doomed to be like a cop, constantly insulted behind my back, Maybe for a good reason, but immediately called for help whenever someone loses their tableware. Or like an Agatha Christie protagonist, outwardly assisted by everyone but constantly lied to about everyone's pasts and motivations, even if my failure to solve the mystery might be the end of us all. He tries to sound like he's peacefully resigned to his fate, but it's easy to detect a tinge of regret in his voice, a voice belonging to someone who once had bigger ambitions than this. What broke him? So you see, for this detective, the why done it is far more important than who done it or how done it. When you understand all the players and their mutual obligations, you easily understand every crime. But of course the Kindred know it, so they devise ways to make my job much harder. Just like conspiracies between two unrelated actors that depend on scratching each other's backs for mutual security. Or they enforce a blood bond to make someone unexpected their troll. A boss serving their employee, a rebel serving a tyrant, just because one is regularly being forced to drink another's blood. What has Sophie seen in you? Why does the prince keep asking me about your actions? How come you're being pushed to build your own coterie so fast? You are surrounded by unclear motivations which you yourself don't understand. That unnerves me, and it should unnerve you as well. I'm just gonna ask. Why are you here? This monologue has gone on for long enough. Why are you here? What is this about? Finally, you manage to raise your voice. Kadir notices the effort and smiles softly. So you haven't gone mute since the last time I saw you. Good. Well, I'm here for a selfish reason. I need to develop a rapport with you to better fulfill my obligations. The last time we met, I couldn't see you as my equal. Now that you've been accepted into the Camarilla, what choice do I have? Technically, I'm still not your equal, but yeah. I'd understand if you didn't want to see my face again, but I'm one of the faces of the New York City community, and as long as you're part of it, it's going to be impossible to avoid me. Especially when I have business with you, and I do. As you might have guessed by now, one of my tasks is uncovering and understanding your bonds, and one of them might endanger our community. Well, that's not menacing at all. Who is he talking about? Better not give names the first instant. Is this about Sophie? Kadir shakes his head. Sophie's fine. She's plotting something big, I know it, and she knows I know it. But she's treading carefully, as she should. No, they're not a major player. He produces a file from underneath his coat and passes it to you. This is our troublemaker. You open the file and see some printed photos. You freeze up as you recognize the face and are overwhelmed by a flood of repressed memories. Newman. Him. Benjamin Newman. The asshole who made the last few years of your life a living hell. The sexual harassment, the mobbing, the way he kept delegation, all his obligations to you without ever letting you reap the fruits of your labor. The way he stole your soul. Goddamn prick. You look up at Kadir, expecting answers. Apparently your company is in trouble. Lots of financial irregularities, and Mr. Newman is all too happy to testify that one employee who just suddenly disappeared is to blame. The story is as fishy as it gets. But your disappearance is being investigated, and a lot of people are searching for you. It attracts attention to us, and as such, it must be stopped. Must be stopped sounds threatening. You dread thinking what is planning. I'll arrange for you to meet tomorrow so that you can straighten the situation out and say goodbye to the life you've forsaken. He'll arrange what? Your eyes must look like saucers right now. Usually these matters are left to my discretion, and I can't think of an easier solution. The lost ship reappears, takes care of unfinished business, and disappears, never to be seen again. Nobody cares. It's simple. It's clean. No contrived schemes, no unnecessary victims. And it gives me an opportunity to learn more about you as I observe. When neonates interact with kind they use to hold dear, their true natures are laid bare to everyone to see. Of course, he's invested in being kind to you. Or he's making clear his self-serving intentions so that you don't start figuring them out yourself. Any objections? Any alternatives are probably worse. You shake your head. Very well. I'll arrange a meeting and drive you there tomorrow. Better come up with a load of bull that's easy to swallow. He disappears from the apartment, leaving you as confused as the last time he closed the door on you. God damn it, you need to think it through. For a long time, you just sit in your haven, lost in your thoughts, thinking about how revenge is a dish best served cold. Oh God, it's already midnight. I can only do one thing. Fate and meat. Somebody's watching me. I don't know who to go. Okay, let's continue with somebody's watching me. I want to know who that is. Best viewers on streamboo.com. Remove the space. Go fuck yourself. Ban this motherfucker. Is this a ban? Yeah. Best viewers on streamboo.com. Hey, go fuck yourself. Okay. It's time. My stalker. You're in your haven when the intercom rings, answering cautiously as you hear an older male voice. Hello, I call you because a friend asked me to come by and offer you my services. Who is this? It's not important. The man sounds strangely excited, breathing hard. I got asked. Is this a sex thing? No, or I mean, not in that way. I know you're one of them. Please, it's all right. I don't mind. You can drink with me. If you understand what I mean. A man you've never seen before is paying a visit to an apartment not many people know of, offering you to feed from him. Let's continue this face to face. Yeah, that's a wonderful idea. Another blood doll. Silence. A minute passes and you hear a knock on the door to your haven. You cautiously open the door. A stranger looks at you sheepishly. He is in his 30s, dressed in a clean business suit. He looks moderately successful, someone you could meet at an investment bank. I'm sorry, I didn't want to intrude, so that's why I called from downstairs. You know what? Come in. I was hungry anyway. The man looks comically satisfied as you usher him into your haven. He barely waits for you to close the door before he loosens the collar of his shirt, closes his eyes, and bares his neck in quivering expectation. You look at the man, taken aback by such forwardness. Figuring that you didn't invite the man here for a chat, you lean closer, take him by the shoulders, and sink your fangs into him. This is not an unpleasant way to feed. Reflect as the blood flows into your mouth. The food comes to your door of its own volition. The man moans as you drink from him, lost in the ecstasy of the case. It feels a little unseemly, but it would be churlish to begrudge him his pleasures. Taking care not to drink too much, you let go of the man after licking his wounds closed. Suddenly, you're startled by a surprising sight. A woman, not very old, strangely dressed, is looking at you intently, only an arm's length away. Before you can react, the mysterious woman opens your front door and vanishes from sight, leaving you to wonder whether you really saw her at all. As you stare confused, the man you drank from slips out of your haven and into the hallway, staggering a little from the effects of the kiss. You close your door, wondering what was that all about. At least you got to feed, if nothing else. Ah, Jesus. Okay, next one is gonna be Fate. Ah, wait, no, I got the job with the sheriff. You'd ask who's there, but you don't know if the sheriff of New York City would play along. When you open the door, you see him toying with the car keys he's holding in his hand. Ready to go, fledgling? You don't feel like it, but you give him a nod nevertheless. Excellent. Stay close. He leads you down to the vehicle he's parked nearby. Once again, he takes the wheel, literally and figuratively. Everything inside is just the way you remember it, down to the rear view mirror reflecting the intense stare of your guide. However, the trip itself feels notably different. The last time Kadir drove you around, he was forcibly dragging you away from your old life. This time, he's pulling you back into it. Goddamn Newman, you're getting violent just thinking about him. Let me tell you how it's going to go. As I said, I've arranged a meeting between you and your kin. It's going to take place somewhere you should know very well. I'll watch over you two from a safe distance to make sure you'd adhere to the rules. You should know those very well, but I'll reiterate just so you can't ever say I didn't warn you. Don't do anything that would violate the Masquerade. Don't establish some secret routes of contact. I will know. Do treat it as the last time you two will meet. Take this chance to wrap everything up. Here's your story. You're fine. Found yourself at a crossroads. Decided to radically change your life and move out of the city. The subway is unbearable. The rent is too high. They've heard it all. However, you do not appreciate being accused of a crime you didn't commit. So you're back, both to clear your name and strike fear into the heart of the real culprit. By now, you should know how to cause fear among the living, alright? Not really. So far, I failed most of the times. He smirks at you. Have fun. As long as you don't leave a mess for me to clean up, we should be good. The car makes a sudden turn. I'll leave the finer details to you. Just be so kind and don't make me regret it. You can sense he's going out of his way for you, but doesn't try to force you into gratitude by standing it plainly. If you know, you know. He'll see if you are worthy of his aid. We're here. You take a look around and recognize your destination. He was right. It is a familiar place. It's the office in which you wasted your best years of your life. Newman should be up there. Apparently someone is blackmailing him with documents proving his penchant for embezzlement. The poor guy is stuck in his office and he's probably pretty shaken up. The documents don't exist. But it would be a shame if someone went there, wiped the floor with the man, found proof that he pilfered the funds and forced him to admit his crimes. He turns off the engine and relaxes comfortably in his seat. You silently leave the car and head straight for Newman's office. The elevator rides up. The elevator ride up just doesn't seem to end. After what feels like 5 hours, but in reality is closer to 30 seconds, you finally reach your floor. Your ex-boss is sitting in his office, just like Kadir said. He looks, how can you put it? As if he has just googled body language for alpha males and attempted to poorly copy the most cartoonish posture in order to intimidate the blackmailer. Out of habit, you take a deep breath as you step inside this office. Carl? He immediately relaxes. It's just Carl, his eyes say as a sly grin appears beneath them. Forget to ask for a vacation? People were worried, you know. Not to mention overworked to hell and back, then overworked to overwork some more. Someone had to take care of your responsibilities. And guess what? Just as we started digging into your work. Okay, back. Mike, better. And guess what? Just as we started digging into your work some unexpected financial irregularities started popping up. We need to work on a common story to explain those, you see? You keep quiet and just stare him down. The poor idiot still thinks he's the predator in the room. Let's see how long it takes for him to realize his mistake. Newman senses that you're different, somehow. He attempts to stare back but fails to withstand your glare. He starts to wonder what's going on and quickly arrives at a conclusion. Wait a second. So you're the one who sent me that message. Now that's a laugh. He starts approaching you. Sweetheart, if I'm going down, you're going down with me. You think you could convince anyone that you never knew what was going on around here? Fat chance. And even if you did, you know, my friends, they'd never let you leave it down. He's right in front of you, licking his lips, pondering the best way to display his complete physical superiority. You won't give him the chance. Use him like a punching bag, no. Presence. Before Newman blinks, you're standing in front of him with your arms crossed. After he blinks, your hand is already on his throat. He freezes up. He watches you, get it in his face, and slowly brandish your long fangs. What the fuck did I do? I thought I was only gonna activate presence to scare him. Oh god, I made a terrible mistake. Okay, calm down. A loud, throaty, inhuman growl rings out throughout the office and begins to morph into a violent hiss. For a moment, your ex-boss can't identify the source of the overwhelming sound, or rather, his brain refuses to accept that your relatively small body is capable of generating a noise like that. As he begins to understand and process the unnatural sight of your fangs, he's gradually overpowered by an animalistic fear that shatters his entire worldview. You were supposed to be a victim. Why are you a threat? Why did reality break? You slowly tighten your grip on his neck, not hard enough to trigger a fight response, but enough to strike deeper fear into his heart. Kneel. Newman complies with your demand, squealing softly, a single tear making its way down the stubble on his cheek. Fuck. Obey. I'll do whatever you want, just don't kill me, please. You gather your strength and throw him, slamming him against his desk. Fuck. A boardroom predator has met his better in the place he least expected it. You slowly start walking towards him. Stop, I get it, I'll do it, I'll fucking do it. With shaking hands, he scrambles towards a safe on his shelf. He opens it and takes out some documents inside. This is what you want, right? This is what you want. You rip the papers from his hands and browse them. This should be enough to, as Kadir would put it, prove his penchant for embezzlement. I'll clear your fucking name. Tell them somebody else. You twist your heel into his hand. He screams. I did it. I'll tell them I did it. If you don't, I'll visit again. You walk into the elevator, press the ground floor button, and wave at Newman as the doors start closing. He mumbles something under his breath and winces in pain. Back to Kadir's car. Once you close the door, he instantly puts his foot on the gas pedal. Walking off the pitch with no regrets. Said everything you had to say. I wiped the floor with him and got the documents that should keep him in check. That asshole will be looking over his shoulder constantly for the rest of his life. Kadir smiles deviously. Looks like you can take care of business, as expected. Okay, so beating him was more of a... the Bruja response. As I said, I'm not a fighter. It went well. I just didn't expect her to show the fangs. I mean, I'll still take it, it's fine. I don't need to tell you to hang on those documents, but keep in mind that you can use them for more than a security guarantee. We are always looking for more contacts among the big fish. Once you settle in, you can use what you know on Newman to convince the elders that he's better off as your ghoul. Oh shit, I'm gonna have him as my ghoul. Now that's an enticing thought. You're surprised at this suggestion. The car speeds up to cross an intersection before the light turns red. You give Kadir a good, hard look. You've done a good job setting all of this up. He chuckles, visibly proud. If I couldn't handle something this easy, I wouldn't be holding my position. But then he takes on a serious, slightly sorrowful expression. Don't suck up to me, kid. Mr. Bad Guy is still here, and without a doubt, he will go back to decapitating suckers like you anytime soon. The car starts slowing down. We're here. You look out the window and see your haven. Take care. I'll see you around. Just pray I don't have to see you too often. You leave the car and start walking to your haven, thinking about Kadir. Can't say you're fond of him, with the welcome he gave you and all, but after tonight, you can't say you aren't either. You're gonna need some more time to understand him, that's for sure.